Hello everyone, my name is Rico Maggi. I'm professor of economics at the Università della Svizzera Italiana. I'm director of the Institute for Economic Research and also directing the Master in International Tourism. Today I will be talking shortly to you about, let's say, what is happening in the travel market, the consequences in air transport, and quite at the end also in our small reality here in Lugano and our airport. So if you want to say something about, let's say, what is happening on a local level, better start on the global level, and especially in times like ours, understand what is happening. So I start with, let's say, what is my guess on what is the future of the world economy. And what I think we will see is not less, but a different kind of globalization, some reshoring, shorter supply chains, let's say, and that's combined with a national regional protectionist policy, which makes that we'll see a bit lower growth in the short but also medium run, but especially we will see sort of a world economy based on, to some extent, autochthonous national economies. What does this mean for the travel market? Well, we should distinguish between the business travel and leisure travel. The business travel, of course, in the short run will be redimensioned. There will be cost-cutting initiatives in all companies. There will be some switch to online business. But in the medium and long run, I guess the volume will be back to what we see today, just for probably different purposes, because if we have this new sort of globalization, we'll be seeing more trips to, let's say, check what is happening in other national market, to open branches, to do different kind of negotiations. So business travel will certainly be the stabilizing argument already in the medium run. Leisure travel, we all know that we have to expect a dramatic drop in the short run of leisure travel due to all restrictions, due to also concerns of the individuals to travel, especially to long distance destinations. So we will see, let's say, a relative increase in the share not only of national but also of, let's say, international travel, rather to neighboring countries in Europe, etc. In the long run, I'm totally convinced that tourism will be clearly back to normal, because tourism always had an adventure side. And the more nations will be sort of semi-closed, the more it will be, let's say, exotic to try and travel to them. And this will be, let's say, based, of course, if we want to see this, or if we will see this, we will need sort of not too high prices, not only something that is open for high-end travelers, and hence we will, I guess, see a big comeback of charter travel. Okay. If these are the trends, then what we will be seeing on the transport market? Well, if we have a dramatic drop in demand in the short run, of course, the consequent liquidity problems will lead to a consolidation in the market. And as we already see today, quite some air transport companies, some airlines, will be vanishing from the market. Low-cost carriers with low margins will be in trouble, and some might disappear. Overall, hence, we will see some niche players disappearing. But this is a hypothesis, we might see a return to a sort of fake national flag carriers, subsidized, protected, and hence, let's say, a relatively stable situation that we had once upon a time, with higher prices that will also be due to, let's say, eco taxes, to stronger regulation, and hence less competition. And I guess this will be the new world in the air transport market. There is one innovation that I expect, and that is that the sharing model that we know now more or less well from, let's say, the automotive mobility on ground, will take more importance also on air. So we will be seeing not only more leasing, let's say, also with the big companies. We should not forget that almost 50% already today of the aircraft around in the world are owned by leasing companies. But this will be rather also go into, let's say, sharing models. that where you will have pooled aircraft at airports, which can be used by different transport companies, and hence you will have a much more efficient use and newer fleets, less fuel consuming, etc. But more interestingly for us here in our local reality, we will see an increase in sharing models also in general aviation based on, let's say, shared ownership, on lease arrangements, on sharing models, quite simply, that are based on you can use smaller or bigger aircraft, and the ownership is no longer with single individuals or companies. And that's where we can then dare to say that there is a future for our small airport in Lugano. There will be most probably no return to fixed connections with traditional full-service carriers. There will most probably be no low-cost carriers arriving in Lugano, but there might be a significant growth, which we already saw starting recently, of general aviation based more and more on sharing model, on your lease arrangement. And I guess in the leisure segment, we will see some charter traffic coming back. So let's say overall, the configuration that I foresee will be different, but economically and also environmentally, probably even more sustainable than today. Thank you for listening.